family of the Prices, they travelled a lot, but most of them all come from Wales. They were Welsh people. Lots of them could talk Welsh. But they travelled England. They went to Ireland. They went to Scotland. They'd wander about anywhere. Whatever road took their mind or their thoughts, they'd go. And the one brother, Richard, he went to the war, the old war. They had a couple of 3 letters back from him. And when they come back from him, were travelling about. They lost touch probably, or couldn't read and write, and they'd had no idea. But they never did see him anymore, and never did hear anything else about him. All the way they ever searched or travelled, never found or knew anything about him. They only knew he went to France, and that was all they knew. Well, Charlie was another brother of theirs, and one day he was sitting down working, making baskets. And he have to have a knife to make baskets with. And he had a knife in his hand working. And he had 2 little boys and a little girl of his own. And they were playing about somewhere. And he heard a child's voice screaming, screaming, screaming. He got up and he looked for his little girl, and he heard the voice coming from the park, and he run to the park gates to go through the park gates. And he wouldn't leave his knife on the ground in case his children picked it up and used it. He took his knife in his hand and he run, and he could hear this child screaming, and the more his child screamed, he runned and runned. So the old park man seen him running with a knife in his hand, and he knew him. "Oh, Price," he said, "don't, Price, Price." But he couldn't catch him because he was an old man. But anyhow, he loosed the child go, and he set to running. Well, he runned him. Well, the men run to the little girl, and he had a look to see if it was his little girl, but it wasn't. It was a little house-dwelling girl. And he run him, but the men grabbed him and saved him. So he said, "Turn him loose to me. You let me deal with him," he said. So he said, "No, Price," he said, "let the police deal with him." So the sergeant come, and the police, and they took him. But forever after, Charlie seemed to have the run of the place. He could put his horses and take as much water as he wanted. And he had the run of the place. And the old park man used to say to him, "Don't forget, Price, keep an eye on the park. I'm going for my dinner on me. Keep an eye."